The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN Thursday morning, just after 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We got about 24 minutes to go until the start of trading, and you have markets with some mixed action. S&P, NASDAQ in the green. We have the Dow and the Russell slightly barely in the red, and we have the S&Ps kicking off the session. Now, look at the volatility. Right, we got some action going on this morning. You jump, we're going to pull up this morning. We got the jobs numbers coming out this morning. You have NVIDIA slightly higher as we digest their gains, but S&Ps, we were all the way up to 6,015. Look at this volatility coming into the opening bell yet again. Now you had initial claims up to 242,000 is the number that comes in. We'll talk about that. That was the week ended February 22nd, so a little bit hot on the claims, okay? And then we jump over to NVIDIA, and there's your action for NVIDIA. Now, we have about a $12 move priced into NVIDIA as of the close last night. You're within about $2 of the close almost. $2 and what? Almost $3, you could say, from where we were. No real volatility compared to what's priced in, but that could change on the open. NVIDIA, decent numbers, but not blowing it away. There are some high projections that NVIDIA did not live up to. So when you're coming in, barely meeting expectations, we'll see how the market digests that on the open. NASDAQ 100, we're up by 157 points. You see a little volatility there as well. 845, 21,355. We're positive by 0.8%. As I mentioned, Dow slightly in the red. As I speak, we're back in the green. And you got the Russell negative by 1. Bitcoin, you talk about some volatility, man. How about an 82,000 handle from 100,000 on Friday to 82,000? 18% hit just like that. By Wednesday, we're up a couple thousand right now. Crude catching a little bit of a bid. There's your volatility as well. Crude up to 69.79. Gold struggling right at 2,900. Now, I will say this on gold, okay? It's been quite a run. And wouldn't hurt to have a little bit of a consolidation before you make the next leg higher. I mean, you put that thing on a daily going back to last February. That's when the run began. It's late February from 2,000 to 3,000. And I think the next run is 33.50 in that gold contract. And 33.50 in gold is simply a 1-to-1 from the move we started in February, that pullback, and that takes you up to about 33.45. Trading at 29.01, highs out there at 29.74. A little bit of a pullback. We got yields this morning, 4.29. You check that thing out on a weekly, though, right? Higher price, lower yield coming at you. That's your weekly. You put it back to a daily, we're coming up to this area of about 111.20. 1 point higher than where we are right now. You're going to hit a little bit of resistance. That's where we were December 9th. Before we had yields rise, and yeah, we pulled back 4.29. Now you check out the dollar, DXY. You know, we're getting a bounce, but I think this dollar wants to break 106, man. All the pressure is to the downside right now. We're trading at 106.98. On a weekly, you got a green bar. On a daily, we're catching quite a bounce from yesterday and today, but the trend is lower lows and lower highs since the high made about 6 weeks ago of 110. We're trading at 106.991. Dollar inching towards 107 right now. We jump over to the VIX. 21.48 was the spike yesterday, right at 20 yesterday. We're trading at 18.14. A little bit of volatility out of this market. Okay, we jump back to NVIDIA shares, trading at 134.18. And let's check out NVIDIA. So, the numbers. Sales. What are we going to do in the current quarter that we're in, right? Not the quarter that they just reported, the previous quarter. The quarter which runs through April, okay? $43 billion. Well, the market was looking for 42.3. It's a beat, okay? Some of the projections were as high as 48, though. Okay? Then you go down to the quarter they just reported. Here we are. $39.3 billion. Okay, matched estimates, some of the projections were as high as $42 billion. Now, its latest quarterly sales were bigger than NVIDIA's annual revenue 2 years ago. Here's what the charts look like. Quarterly revenue, yeah, in 2020, you're doing $3 billion, you're doing 40. We've never seen a business that's escalated to this degree before on revenue. I think we've seen it on market cap, but has there ever been a business over a period of 4 years that's going from $3 billion to $40 billion in revenue with a trajectory like that and matches the share price, right? Look at that. Look at that share price, okay? Quarterly revenue driving the action, but you look at the expectations, and yeah, not quite living up to the expectations. Now, the one thing I will say is you're chopping around where we were last June. So we've been consolidating between 120 and 140 for the better part of almost 9 months on NVIDIA shares. We're going to be open by about $2.50. As I mentioned, you had about a $12 move in either direction. Now, it's so interesting here. We were laying out some option trades yesterday on the program. And if you were a buyer of volatility, right, you locked yourself in a losing trade, basically, on depending on how you structured it. But if you were just buying a call, right, buying a put, selling a put right at the market, yeah, you need $13 in either direction. Well, $13 in either direction means you had to trade up to either 144 or 118. So you had from 118 to 144. It's about a $13 move. So that's a $26 range. Here's what's wild, right, to get the point. So it's got like a $13 move. Even call it a $12 move, okay, in either direction. That means that the market can't figure out whether it's going to go $12 up or $12 down. That's the projected move, okay? That's a $24 move, but here's the kicker. That's a $24 move for an equity that has 25 billion shares outstanding. So as of the close last night, these earnings are so important that NVIDIA was pricing just for an option overnight that the market was unsure to the degree of about $600 billion is the range that it gave you for the volatility for their market capitalization. Think about that, right? If you had an area where the market cap was going to either rise by 300 billion or fall by 300 billion, and that's how much volatility was priced into this equity. And I expect we're going to get some movement in one way or the other on the open. Okay, we'll get some volatility today as the true supply and demand digests that number, but not as staggering as maybe some of those projections. So we'll leave it out there. Now, you jump around. Salesforce had theirs numbers as well. Tough numbers out of the gate. They saved themselves a bit to some degree, but Salesforce going to be down about $7 right now. They were the other notable one reporting among other equities last night. All right, let's jump over to jobless claims. Out at 8:30 this morning, 242,000. Yeah, number they were looking for was 221. Feels like a little bit of a rise, more than we've seen recently. The 4-week moving average, 224,000. The kicker here, though, is the continuing claims decreased, right? If you got continuing claims going down, don't worry about what the initial claims is. All that matters really is what you have on continuing. And I'm generalizing, but yeah. All right, and how about this one, man? I got it pulled up here somewhere. There it is. Mr. Beast, $5 billion, man. Amazing, Says he lost tens of millions of dollars on the Amazon reality show, but guess what, folks? Are you really losing money if it's an expense when you're going public for $5 billion valuation to some degree? We'll talk about that. We'll talk some other equities. We're coming back, folks. We'll talk some GDP. Stay tuned. If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Welcome back, folks. S&P's up by 26, NASDAQ 100 up by 166. I've put this on a 1-minute chart, like I'm saying here, so I'm going over the numbers. I'm getting ready for the program, sitting in the saddle, right? Been up since about 5:30 this morning anyway. Looking at the markets, getting ready. Final 15 minutes before the show, 8:45. Getting ready for not saying what's going on. Is this, was there a 15-minute lull here on the jobless claims number? Was it? No. We got Truth Social posts about tariffs. Of course we do. Shame on me for not knowing any better. And there it is. Trump says Canada, Mexico tariffs to take effect, adds new China duty in there. So on Truth Social, and to pull it over, why not? There's the actual post. Now it's so remarkable here. 8:46 a.m. Okay, there it is. Now, imagine, even if you were a minute late, there were still 15 S&P points to be made. Now we've rebounded, okay? That's a minute chart. There's 8:46. The market was trading at about 6,010. We got a tweet that, guess what? Tariffs are coming, folks. They're coming everywhere. I'm generalizing. And we're talking about, you got tariffs, whether you're talking about China, okay, and then you're talking about the reciprocal tariffs as well, okay? So the proposed tariff scheduled to go into effect on March 4th will indeed go into effect. The China will likewise be charged an additional 10% tariff on that date, and then you got the April 2nd reciprocal tariffs, which are its own deal, and there was confusion yesterday as he conflated them. But nonetheless, we got deadlines looming, right? March 4th, next Tuesday. Yeah. Let's see where we go. But that's going to hang over the market, and it's going to be an ever-hanging fruit. And we'll see. Because those unknowns are going to persist, which will be remarkable. All right, we talk a little bit of GDP. So you get the second revision of fourth quarter GDP. And the only thing notable here, to slide down, okay, this is the first estimate. We get the second estimate, 2.3% was the number. But the PCE price index comes in a little hot, and that's ahead of the January PCE report, which is due out Friday, currently projected to show the core metric rising 2.6%. So we get that number tomorrow, which will be interesting. But yeah, 2.3% annualized pace, same as prior. But yeah, the Federal Reserve's preferred metric, PCE, price index, excluding food and energy, was actually 2.7%, faster than the 2.5. So what's going on? We got consumer spending rising. We got core PCE rising. And you actually have GDP dipping down from the prior. You go 3%, you go 3.1, we go 2.3. See where we go with that number out this morning as well. All right, what else we got going on? We got plenty of headlines to talk about this morning, I feel like. Yeah, Mr. Beast, why not? Hey, for the amount of money he pushes out in terms of views, my goodness, right? And I enjoy it sometimes as well. It's remarkable when you think about kids in the household as young as 6, 7 years old watching his videos, up to people my own age, which is remarkable. And yeah, he's raising money to fund a holding company that's going to own all or part of several businesses. Yeah, he's got chocolate company out there. He's got a snack company, and then, of course, the video production company. The business is profitable and generated more than $400 million in sales last year. Well, geez, that leaves a lot to be desired. $400 million in revenue, and it's profitable. $5 billion valuations, not bad. So Amazon committed $100 million to produce that first season. Amazing. Now, I really haven't watched much of it. I've seen anecdotes of it. B said he lost money on production of the show by spending too much on it, tens of millions of dollars. But yeah, that's how business goes, folks. He's a growth company, all right? If you're doing $400 million in revenue and you're getting valued at a $5 billion valuation, you don't need to be making money, right? He's getting valued at 12.5 times his revenue, not his earnings. He's getting a price per revenue of 12.5, and he's talking about losing millions. Quite a PR man, right? The original deal called for Amazon to spend more than $250 million across 2 additional seasons. That's quite a number, but guess what? He's quite the man in terms of streaming. Big numbers, man. Yeah, we could talk a little bit of inflation. We got crude. And how about that crude market, right? We're catching a little bit of a bid today, but pressure is to the downside in this crude market. The tariff volatility, potentially. I don't know if we got other crude news out there at 8:48 versus the tweet at 8:46. You even see the move there. Crude catching a bid, bumping up right near $70. We'll see how it trades. And yeah, keep our eye on the dollar as we're pushing 107 right now, 106.96. And we actually got above that 107 before we dip lower. And there it is, right? We get a little bit of a move off the GDP numbers, the initial jobless claims numbers. And man, if you're trading, I mean, think about the ability, right? If you're trading, if you know that these tweets are coming, no matter what, man, market moving moves. And you got to have it up, man. And that's how it's going to continue to go, which is remarkable. But that's the deal. All right, let's jump to some of the streamers. We jump over to Warner Brothers Discovery. So they were out of their numbers last night. You're up by about 50 cents. Decent move for a $10.50 stock. We pull over their numbers. 6.4 million max subscribers. Forecast 150 million subs by the end of 2026. And yeah, fourth quarter revenue, $2.65 billion, up 5%. And, I'll tell you, folks, from having many streaming services in my own household, Max is a great one. Paramount is doing big things, I tell you. Number one, we're a fan of Sonic in this household, okay? Sonic 3 was just out in the theaters. Pretty great movie. Jim Carrey. Look at me. Can you tell I'm a dad of a 4-year-old? Jim Carrey plays the villain, Dr. Eggman. and it's the third one. The second one was great as too, but Paramount's got a lot of great movies, and I find myself, more and more saying, man, they got a lot of great production. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to turn a profit, because you look at this equity, and my goodness, right? We need a sign of strength, as they would say in this equity, man. Now, yeah, they're out with their numbers too last night. I didn't even pull that one up. So down about 20 cents. Paramount, Warner Brothers Discovery, both out with their numbers last night. But boy, technically, this thing's in trouble. But they got quite a lineup. You know what I find myself in the den, in the YouTube Tigers den out there? What streaming services is everyone flocking to? What's your favorite? What's your least favorite? And then I'll later in the program I'll give you beyond Paramount, because I seem to have a pecking order going right now, and there's winners and there's losers, and listen, no surprises here, right? Netflix is always going to be on the top end of that, but where does everybody else fall? We're coming back for equities, folks. S&P's up 23. Come back for the opening bell.
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, reversed back to all-time highs, and we now have a trade war looming. Trying to play this chop as an individual trader leads to death by 1,000 cuts. Where does this market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Tariffs? Trade wars? Analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento over the second and fourth Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading. Larry has been through many markets just like this one, and the insight he provides is invaluable. The dates for this month are February 14th and 28th. 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Oh, welcome back, folks. We got markets open. S&P is up by about 25 right now, trading at 59.96. You have the market digesting NVIDIA earnings and digesting a Truth Social post talking about the tariffs are coming. Nonetheless, positive territory, all the markets in the green. NASDAQ 100, we're up by 161 points, or about 0.8%. You have the Dow up by about 0.1%, 37 points in the green, 43,548, and the Russell positive by 2. We jump over to NVIDIA shares. So, yeah, if you were a seller of volatility, that was quite a trade. Now, here's the kicker sometimes. You still got a lot of volatility priced into this equity is what will happen on those types of trades. You're trading at about 134. You're up $2.87. You're up 2% right now in NVIDIA shares. Salesforce out with their numbers last night, down about 3.5%. We jump back to the streamers. Warner Brothers, ooh, they're liking those, man. Always interesting how sometimes that opening bell up by 9.8%. Ooh, Max. That Max streaming service. Max is a good one. I like Max. They put out some quality programs, some quality shows, and some quality movies, to say the least, right? Paramount down by 1.96%. Now, here's what I'll say. When I wind down at night, lay in bed, watch a couple movies maybe. I watched the movie Elevation recently on Max. All right? And the actor in this, I'm pulling it up right now. Who's the actor in this thing? I should know his name even. I don't even say his name on here. It's the same gentleman that plays Captain America in the new movie Elevation. Here, I'll pull this over, all right? Unfortunately, not a good movie. Not a fan at all. Pulled it up after IMDb afterwards and was like, man, what did I just spend 2 hours watching? All right, so nonetheless, I am a fan of Bill Maher. Is it politically incorrect? What is his show? I was Real Time. It used to be politically incorrect. But Max has some good programs, okay? But one of my favorite is Paramount. Now, what I watched recently on Paramount, okay, we're jumping around from the market open, but these streamers was, I think it was, let me make sure. Yeah, it was September 5th, okay? And this was a documentary. Oh, let me make sure. Shame on me, is it? I better find out before I... Let's see. I think it is on Paramount. Let's make sure. A great documentary on the Munich Olympics kidnapping of the Israeli team there. Yeah, here it is. This is a good one. Check this one out if you haven't seen it. From 2024, only an hour and a half long. And it's based on the event at the 1972 Olympics, which was a hostage crisis in which ABC News, the sports, right, the worldwide of sports, basically took over that entire journalistic. And that was a great movie. It was September 5th. So check that one out on Paramount. And you know what else I watched recently? Is The Godfather and The Godfather 2 on Paramount. But nonetheless, you know what? So what's the one with the least to offer? Yes, that was it, Steve. Great documentary. It's not a documentary. It's a movie. Okay, it's a great movie. Great actors in there as well. September 5th, it's just great. Going over real history, real times, with suspense, all that stuff. The one that I continually find myself finding less and less on is Peacock. Yeah. Now, they have football sometimes, right? They have a few things. But I go to Peacock, I pull up the shows, and I pull up the movies there. I'm like, what am I doing here? Now, the kicker is Peacock is the cheapest of them all, and they're going ad. I think I signed up. We'll take a look at Comcast. For Peacock for $30 for the whole year is what they gave it to me for. Last year at around the Kentucky Derby is when I signed up. We take a look at Comcast. NBC Universal, of course. And yeah, that's a tough one, man, right? Look at that chart. Look at these markets, though. And what is so interesting, you still got the NASDAQ 100. We got one more trading day in February, and we're talking about right now, that we have, on a weekly basis, we've rolled over a bit, but on a monthly basis, we got green bars across the board at highs here. There's nothing of a pullback just yet on a longer-term basis. And that's where you really want to keep your spikes up, folks, on your back, because, everybody seems to be talking about these moves we've had in the last few days. And remember, we got PCE tomorrow, all right? And we got a Fed meeting 3 weeks from yesterday. Yeah, March 18th and 19th is their next meeting, and then they go into May. So, yeah, 3 weeks from yesterday, we got a Fed meeting, and then you're talking about we got non-farm payrolls a week from tomorrow as well. So it's going to keep coming, man. But this morning, Oh, a little bit of a give back. That's a little weakness on the open. Look at that, right? And this is why sometimes, okay, if you're selling volatility on some of these option trades, folks, I encourage you, get a demo account, trade them so that you can see sometimes how they open the next day. There's still a lot of volatility priced into these options, rightfully so, because the market knows that you can drop $3 or $4 in a heartbeat, right, as it just did. Let's jump around to some of the Magnificent Seven. Apple shares up by 7. Look at these moves on the open. Apple up by 0.7%. Amazon, quite a bounce from 204 earlier in the week. We're up by 1.9% right now today. 218.42. Just like that, right? Those dip buyers, man. Microsoft shares, there you go, up by 1.4%. My goodness. Google shares up by 0.8% right now. Tesla even catches a bit, up by 1.75% right now. Yeah, Warner Brothers up 10% right now. Paramount, different story. So, and you know, that is not a recommendation to buy, folks, because I do both, right? You do both. You look at both. Technically, this chart's a mess right now for Paramount. It is. You got to have a sign of strength. You got to break above this $12 area maybe. All right, you break above it. You let it come back. You test. Technically, probably looks like, you know, you're going to get into this equity, 1022, something like that. You could begin to scale in. You got 954, the low out there from June. You put it back on a weekly. Yeah, and look at not what you want to see, right? As in, you got volume down here. You do get a volume spike the week of January 20th, and then we were only at about, the high was $11 there, but we traded to almost $12 coming into their earnings on lighter volume, and we've trailed off a bit. We're at 1092 right now. All right, yeah, and this one's a sad one. Gene Hackman, and 95 years old. We all can hope that we're crushing it till 95 years old, but it looks to be some type of a gas leak or something, because unfortunately he, his wife who's 63, and their dog were all found dead when they entered the home. And so, yeah, but I remember, man, watching so many great movies when I was growing up. You know what was a favorite one of mine? Was Poseidon Adventure. You remember that one, the original? Now, I know they remade it because I'm so old. 1972, which is just bonkers. 53 years ago, that movie was made. I used to love that movie when I was a kid. He had a great role in that movie. But I watched it many times. I remember we had it on VHS at some point, I recall. Dating myself just a bit, right? All right, let's check back in on the dollar. So flirting with that 107. There we go. Look at this run we got going on. All right, tariffs are back, folks, and the dollar is surging higher. We're going to get a move, man. 107.11. We check in on yields. Yields back on the rise. The market handling it in stride right now, though. We got Magnificent 7 trading higher. S&P's up by 32. We'll be right back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening Call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey. Because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks, and so much for the short-lived excitement, we'll call it, because, boy, these markets are ripping lower, man. Look at NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA, you just traded down $6. You're talking about $150 billion in market cap, gone like that, down a percentage point. All the pressure right now is to the downside in these markets. You had them all pop, and then boom. Amazon gives up almost $4 like that. You have Microsoft shares. We dip a bit. Google shares down to 174 right now. Tesla up 1.8% right now. We jump over to Meta shares. They give it up from almost 690 to 674. And yeah, you have the NASDAQ 100 that just ripped almost 200 points lower from where we were 8 minutes ago. Hold on to your hats, folks. We've made it past one unknown, NVIDIA earnings. But as I mentioned, you look at those NVIDIA earnings, right? I covered it at the top of the show, and there it goes. Market's going red. NASDAQ positive by 1. Come on. 17. We're right there, man. This market is something else. We jump over the VIX. There's your spike up to almost 18 right now on the VIX. Some huge action on the dollar. 107.11. Gold trading at 28.93. We keep our eye on crude. Crude trading at 69.80. So great question in the YouTube Tiger Stand talking about overnight trading. Any thoughts on Schwab going to allow folks to trade overnight like Robinhood? Okay. And I think it's inevitability, which it is. It's already happening, right? But it makes sense. There's no reason why in this day and age where exchanges can function 24/7, especially when there's liquidity, which there are. And I think Schwab's kicking it off with like 800 equities. Not every equity is going to be trading 24/7 is what happens, but a majority of the equities that we're all familiar with, or indices to that degree, right? You're going to be trading overnight. And here's what I'll tell you, okay? It's a mental game, trading, period. And it's not like preaching here, okay? You know, I've traded a lot. In my 20s, I can't believe I'm going to be 45 next month. But in my 20s, I played a lot of poker. And so what I saw is the flip side of everything here, myself included, in terms of poker, online poker especially, which is what I was playing in its heyday, 24/7 availability, okay? And one of the biggest difficulties with that portion of my life was time management, okay? And not playing when tired, not making bad decisions, being healthy, having the ability to play 24/7, and keeping track of my own mental fortitude, right? Those battles. Now, you go back to poker, okay? It's a different game than the markets because you're still going to get a lot of the liquidity during market hours, right? So off market hours, you're going to have less liquidity. And if you have less market participants, you're going to have less price discovery. And if you have less price discovery, markets can get a little bit out of sync. And that's where you see, right, even for an equity I mean, you see it happen right now. We have 24-hour trading already, okay? People can be trading the video. We see it on the chart, right? They might look like nothing on the chart because we just did 14 million shares on the open on a 5-minute bar. But these bars leading up to it, 368,000, 348,000, 593,000, okay? 242,000, many shares getting traded. The point being, look what happened when the markets really opened. Prices were not discovered as they could have been. So markets can get a little bit out of whack when you have less. So overnight, it's just going to be like happening right now, okay? Don't get as tied to things. But the reason why it should happen is because if I was in NVIDIA looking for a bullish trade, okay, I probably would have been getting out. And there's no reason why you should be locked into a trade until 9:30 when realistically nowadays the technology is there to have regulations running exchanges, regulated exchanges running 24/7. The technology's there, and there's no reason why it can't. I think it's going to be happening 24/7. It's coming on the weekends. And, you know, from a poker standpoint, okay, the best times to play poker, folks, and that's one of the things that I didn't like. I took some time off. I played it professionally. I did fairly well. I was fortunate. I traveled to Vegas many times. I traveled to the Bahamas to play some big tournaments. I traveled to London to play a poker tournament, which was an amazing experience. But what I didn't like was the life management of some of the best times to play in that game, okay, were actually, when do you think the best times to play online poker are, right? If you had to game theory that out, when are the best times to play? Not rocket science. When are they? Friday night and Saturday night, period, end of story, okay? Any night after that, right? People, they're playing at the end of the night. Maybe they've had a couple drinks, any night. So the nighttime was when everybody was not on their game, okay? So the lesson there is make sure that's not you. And I'm not even just talking about drinking. I'm just talking about being tired, right? I'm talking about needing some action to get in there where you really don't have a conviction and you can just get in there and trade. That's the biggest temptation of all in that aspect of things. 24/7 availability. And when you're trading that short term, okay, it is gambling. It's investing, but it's investing, if you look at it from a positive expectation in the long term, you're still gambling. All right, it's the same logic you could apply to poker if you're a positive expectation player, okay? You're making a number of trades in the long run. You know you have a system that you've devised that over the long run, they produce an expected return that's positive. Gambling has a negative connotation because many people associate it with casino games, which, yeah, you all lose money in the long run. But you can gamble on things that you have a positive expectation on. When you're making short-term trades like that, it is gambling. So that temptation, the mental temptation, yeah, don't be the one doing that. Now, are you on the other side of that, right? You can be on the other side of that because that's one of the factors. You're going to have people who are gamifying the system, like it already is, overnight. And just be aware of how the market's going to recoil sometimes on the open. But guess what? That's an opportunity as well. Okay? And look at that, man. This market, NASDAQ 100 goes red. Look at these days, right? Friday, we rip lower on the open. Monday, we rip lower on the open. Tuesday, we rip lower on the open. Wednesday, it took until noon, and we rip lower. You trail higher with no momentum. And today, we rip lower on the open. There is no momentum to the upside in this market right now. You look at the volume. We do Tuesday on the NASDAQ 793. We are trailing off a bit. Okay, we'll see where today comes in. But we got some quality volume on the downside. All right, look, I'm just going to take this off. Take that trend line off. Remove the square. Remove the open interest line. Where's the volume on this equity, right? Quality volume down here when you spiked, okay? You got volume down here when you spiked. You have volume down here on December 20th when you spiked. Where is this lull in volume? That's when you made the whole rise from 21,200 up to almost 1,000 points higher. And then where's the volume again? Boom, to the downside, okay? So keep your spikes up in this market, man. We got pressure to the downside. And do I think that tariffs are necessarily coming March 4th? No, we're going to have a weekend in negotiation. But where's the reprieve? This is going to be, we have the fentanyl tariffs coming March 4th. We have reciprocal tariffs coming at the beginning of April. But I imagine we're going to have the fentanyl tariffs get pushed back from when? March to April? Maybe they're going to get a 60-day? We will find out. All right, NASDAQ 100 down by 23. You have NVIDIA shares off by 1.5%. One more segment, folks. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. And yeah, as I've been saying, man, you got pressure to the downside. And guess what? We got today, we got tomorrow, but you might not have a green bar on a monthly basis. As you're looking at, boom, we get there. And that 21,200. So we were basically coming in, but NASDAQ 100 slightly in the red on a monthly basis. You take a look at the S&Ps, slightly in the red as well. You take a look at the Dow, just teetering. But boy, I will say, folks, if you are out there, let's just say, would think big picture, if you're retired, okay, and you don't want to ride out 3, 4, 5, 10 years of volatility, it might be coming, man. Okay? Do not forget what markets look like on a longer term basis. And I say that as in historic run from 600 to 6,000. Okay? I'm generalizing. 600 to 6,000. The only pullbacks were COVID and the Fed hiking interest rates in 2022, both of which were erased almost instantly, right? A year or two. Boom, just like that, powering to new highs. We are at the beginning. There could be a dicey period here in markets, man. And I'm not talking about, dot-com bubbles, but valuations are stretched, and you're seeing pressure to the downside right now. And boy, we're now breaking almost where you were. July 11th in the NASDAQ 100, we had a high of 20,983, right up against that level. And yeah, we now got the 10-year and the 3-month inversion. So you have the 3-month at 4.31, we'll call it, and the 10-year below that. So you're getting paid more money right now just to keep your money for a 3-month, 90-day treasury than you are for a 10-year, right? That is not indicative of a strong economy. That's indicative of risk off, folks. So be careful as market's picking up steam, man. Remember, we're coming into PCE tomorrow, and we got tariffs looming as well, and everything's dropping. NVIDIA shares. There you go. Yeah, never be afraid to take those profits, man. NVIDIA just dropped $8. $200 billion in market cap wiped out. All right, folks, that was a fast hour, man. Keep those fingers quick. Stay tuned. I'm coming back for the top of the hour market update. Boy, we got quite a market, to say the least, man. Stay tuned, folks. I'm coming right back. Live programming after that. Have a great Thursday, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.